Some uncertainty coming from the White House. National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow saying, quote, "We've been noodling more on this middle-class tax cut, how to structure it and even pay for it. I don't think the chances of that are very high because the Democrats are going to go after the corporate tax and all that stuff." He then goes on to comment on infrastructure, saying, quote, "Anybody that thinks this $1 trillion infrastructure spending number, which is over 10 years, we don't have that." No kidding. So what is getting done? Here now is Republican Congressman Jason Smith from Missouri. He is on the House Ways and Means Committee. Sir, I was so disheartened by these comments. I want to shrink the size of the government, less taxes. It doesn't feel like I don't feel hopeful about it going in that direction after those quotes from Larry Kudlow. What's your take?
We still have 7 weeks before the gavel goes over to Nancy Pelosi on January 3rd. And I think that we have a lot of opportunity, if we need to work around the clock, to push through the final pieces of legislation that can help safeguard a limited government and to help grow our economy, such as trying to get aspects of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act bill, which I helped draft, made permanent.
You really think that there's a chance that you could get something on that before the end of the year?
Whenever you look at these must-pass pieces of legislation, such as the appropriations bills that have to be passed by December 7th, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity of negotiation, and I think that there are some aspects of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that we could try to make permanent. Our best chance is before Nancy Pelosi takes the gavel. As we have seen, not one Democrat in the House of Representatives voted for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We need to do as much as we can before they take office.
At the same time, when you hear people talk about infrastructure, and even Republicans, they'll say, well, it's possible we can get an infrastructure bill, but, I think it's likely there'll have to be some revenue in it. And, of course, that strikes terror in my heart because that means they're going to raise taxes somewhere along the way in order to pay for this infrastructure that I feel like we've paid for 600 times in this country.
It seems like we're always asking more for infrastructure, and we're seeing not nearly the quality and expectations that we need across the country. The good thing is that we do have a Republican-controlled Senate that can help keep the checks and balances there once Pelosi is in charge on January 3rd. And there definitely is a willingness to work on an infrastructure package with the Democrats. I think we can find some common ground, but we need to make sure it's fiscally responsible, and it is using every aspect of the dollar.
But it seems like what we've done is send more people back to Washington who like to spend money.
Well, as we saw in the House of Representatives, we sent a lot of socialists to Washington. One of Nancy Pelosi's freshman members, the very first approach she made coming to Washington, D.C. was a sit-in in her office. Nancy's going to have her hands full just trying to get elected speaker, let alone trying to govern. So it's a lot of chaos over on that side in her party right now. That's why they haven't even elected her yet as speaker. So it's going to be interesting.
Congressman Jason Smith, thank you.